Previously on Moon Cabin.
Guys, where's everybody?
Ground control to T-Strong. Come in. T-Strong, are you there? Ground control to T-Strong. Are you there?
This is the true story of three wooks who were forced to live in a cabin on the moon. Find out what happens when moonmen stop being polite and start getting real. This is Moon Cabin.
wook+live.
Welcome to wook+live. Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Another Wednesday, another show. I'm really excited for this one. This one's going to be good.
So much going on.
Yeah, so right off the top, we have a slight programming change. We're going to have Rich, who is the Lizard's Trey. But I kind of fucked up. Well, I was vague. No one fucked up, but I was vague. And I said tomorrow last night, but they read it this morning, so they thought it was Thursday. And like a true wook, I forgot to put in the date. And but luckily, and I'm really excited about this, actually kind of more appropriate with our very own Chad here. We have the Lizard's page coming on, so that's going to be really exciting. His name is Joel. He's the keyboardist. I think everybody got that part.
I think
also we have Chad back. Hey, Chad.
Hey, what's up, guys? I think all keyboardists now are named either Joel or Chad, so that works. Or maybe Jason.
For sure.
It's weird. It's not the bassist. Usually, that's what we have.
We've had a long string of
a lot of
bassists.
bassists. Yeah.
We like that low end. Everybody wants the low end.
What was it? O'Teal, Chuck, Karina, and a lot of bassists.
Was Chuck the guy from that famous person's band that Chad knew?
Way to be connected, Kev. Way to be on top of it. This is golden content right here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys caught it. I threw this out in the thread, but last week during Missy's happy birthday message, the T, we had I put in some songs and Duran Duran made it in there, and we got, this isn't unusual. We get YouTube flagged constantly, but this one stuck out at me. We got flagged in North Korea, Syria, and Iran. Am I missing
Cuba.
one? Oh,
Cuba.
in Cuba. Yeah, Cuba.
The axis of evil.
And I don't know, maybe somebody out there who's smarter than me, like, can explain exactly why we were banned, particularly in those countries. But I thought it would be fun to kind of do a little experiment. And each episode, we're going to play a different Duran Duran hit and see how YouTube bans us. And as a side benefit, you guys get to listen to exactly 30 seconds of Duran Duran.
So the idea is like you play Rio and we see if we get banned in Australia
Or Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, Brazil.
That was set up perfectly. I thought that's
Yeah,
really
I know
cool.
I dropped the ball on that.
Yeah,
Damn it.
we'll report back next week as to how this
Right.
one did. All right, without further ado.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on in that video? What the fuck with the sumo wrestler has to do with Girls on Film?
Simon LeBone. Oh,
I just
God, what a great
I
band.
love the fact that like somebody tunes in for the first time. Like, right, we had the lizard, we have Joel from the Lizards on, so potentially maybe there's a lizard stan who has never heard of us, who's like, I can't wait to see Joel. They tune in, and it's Duran Duran. Like, what the fuck is going on? What are we watching?
I like it.
Any takers on what countries we're gonna get banned in from this?
Cuba.
Southern California.
Yeah,
Cambodia.
maybe we'll just get banned
Cambodia.
outright, and this episode won't be seen.
Thailand. I think Thailand we're done. I think we're done in Thailand.
And so when they ban you, they give you the option to replace the music with something. So I think that's another opportunity is to replace the sound of Duran Duran music videos with some like really absurd things.
I also realized about 5 seconds into that song that we don't need to hold that song going for more than 5 seconds. Like I'm like going, okay, that's long enough.
I was digging it. I was digging
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? That's
I
Duran
like the
Duran.
Duran Duran, man.
That was
Yeah.
their first
No,
hit.
but he's right. We don't have to.
Right.
But we want
But
to.
we want to.
We want to.
That was the hit before Hungry Like the Wolf. That was like their first salvo into the pop landscape.
And I also love how our wook+ meetings are now going to be primarily focused on deciding which Duran Duran to play.
Oh, I can't wait to get into some good Duran Duran deep cuts. That'll be good.
Oh, man.
Hey,
All right, you want to?
I have Travis. I have a question. I think it's
It's been
pretty
a rough week since my birthday.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. I didn't think I had to ask.
Oh, yeah. He went from, 46 to 50, 70, 95?
So,
Actually, it
Hair
looks
looks
good.
good for 95.
right?
Yeah.
Still got the color.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep this moving. We got a little something. I don't even know what we call these bumper bits, and then we'll get into the guest right after that. All right.
All right.
This is the true story of three wooks who were forced to live in a cabin on the moon. Find out what happens when moonmen stop being polite and start getting real. This is Moon Cabin.
Mushrooms, picking mushrooms. Picking some mushrooms on the moon. Do-do-do. Picking the mushrooms. This one's green. That's weird. Huh, maybe I'll try it out.
And now, heads in space. Heads in space. Heads in space!
I don't know what happened. 1 minute, I'm at Space Command. I see this box of space mushrooms, moon mushrooms, I think. I try one. All of a sudden, I'm a floating head in space. It's out of control. I don't understand it.
Heads in space!
I love
So
it.
dumb.
I love it.
See,
We are the greatest. Where's Miami?
you question what we're doing, and I know there's probably people like questioning what we're doing, but then you have the one person like, oh, that's what we're doing. We got one person to snort. I'm okay with that.
We
It's
got
coming
two.
back. That means it's got renewed. That's its green light right there. It'll
We
be
got
back.
double snort.
And if you don't know, I suggest you go back and watch the earlier episodes of wook+live because Moon Cabin is coming back and staying. All
There's
right.
a thread going on here, people.
Yes.
There is a story. We are trying to tell you guys a story. And it's a story about floating heads in space eating moon mushrooms.
See?
And see, all right. Serious Sean says heads in space is the best. Okay.
I promise you, we're not just coming up with ridiculous merch ideas. Creating this just have ridiculous.
You can get your heads in space shirts.
All right, let's go.
wait.
Let's move on. I think Joel's been super patient. He had no idea what he was getting into. Actually, the base of this, like the fact that Rich, had handed off, he really had no idea. Like they was just like, "Hey, can you do this?" Oh shit, heads in space and moon cabin.
I'm so sorry.
We're gonna lock it up. We're gonna lock it up. I'm really
we have
excited about this.
pasties. We have a line on pasties, ladies. We do.
Okay, I'm bringing in Joel. We could have done the basis later. Thanks, Kev.
Kevin.
Joel.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Nice
Welcome
to meet you all.
Live. You
Although I
as
kinda
well.
kind of got to know you over the last 15 minutes a little bit.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a blessing and a curse that I can see the backstage before people come on because you see people's reaction of seeing you for the first time and you're like, oh, no, but it was good. You reacted well.
That's good. Go ahead.
So how's everything up you're in Toronto, right?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto. We're like very locked down still here. It's like I still can't like go eat dinner on a patio even or anything. So
Yeah, a little. But I mean, the numbers have been doing good. So has there been any indication of when you might be able to get back on the road? Have you guys been discussing even loosely about tours? Because you used to tour the whole United States
because, I mean, right now going on the road is just not on the horizon because Canada has this really stupid law right now where if you leave the country, well, first of all, the land border is closed, so we can't get into the States by land at all. And if you're flying, when you fly back, you have to stay at a hotel and quarantine at your own expense.
Wow.
So it ends up costing you between $1,000 and $2,000 to quarantine when you get back, which is I mean, we would have to find some pretty high-paying gigs for it to be worth it for us all to do that,
Well, hopefully we'll get through it, and with the vaccines and everything.
Yeah, hopefully we just get these vaccines and I don't know, maybe some stuff in the fall if I'm being optimistic, but probably nothing in the summer.
Yeah.
I thought Canada was doing better than us, and then I saw a thing about stores were only allowed to sell some stuff. Did you guys spike back up or?
Basically, we suck at vaccinating. Like, we were better at containing the virus before there was a vaccine than the U.S. Like, we locked down better, we flattened our curve better, but we don't actually have vaccine manufacturing. So we only get vaccines when other countries are like, we have some we're not using, you know, like so. So
Yeah.
you guys hit vaccinating super hard, and we were just like sitting with our hands in our pockets for all of January, February, and March, basically.
Hey Joel, hi, I'm Chad. Nice to meet you. If you need some of that heady vaccine, man, I'll meet you in Windsor. I'll sneak across the border, go over the bridge, just drive down there.
You're holding some extras? That'd be sweet, man.
Yeah, we got extras. Yeah, we'll get it to you.
I got my first Pfizer, so I'm doing all right now.
Attaboy.
I don't want to spend the whole show talking about vaccines and
COVID,
virus, but
I do.
Happy to move on.
There are a lot of dumbass Americans that aren't willing to take it. So I'm, maybe the surplus we could just ship it to our friends up north and be
That want it.
Yeah, who actually would want it. It's funny. I was thinking about this. We've been an international show. You are officially the third Canadian, right? Because we've had Ryan and Lope, so you are officially the third Canadian on the show.
Nice.
Sweet, man.
What I really wanted to get into tonight, and it's not specific to any event or plugs or anything. I kind of wanted to dive into talking about the music, because we don't often get musical guests where we can get into things like jamming and Fish's music at that level. And I'm actually really excited to have you on. I mean, I would have loved to talk to Rich, and I think we will, but I'm excited to talk to you because I mean, Chad's a piano player. I think are you classically trained as a piano player, or was that like how you came up into music?
I was like a classical kid growing up for sure, and then started getting into like classic rock and stuff in high school, and had like I actually grew up in Winnipeg, which I don't know if you guys know where Winnipeg is, but it's like go to Minneapolis and drive north for 8 hours. So like in the middle of the
I just got a shiver from being cold. It's like go to the coldest place and then drive north for 8 hours.
Yeah. So that's where I grew up. It's like a sort of mid-sized city up there. And I had a group of friends, and we all got into Fish in high school and like had our own little jam bands and stuff. But then so I was classically trained, got into like rock and jam band stuff, and then I fell like hard into jazz and ended up coming to Toronto to go to music school and do like study jazz and stuff. And then I became like a super hardcore like jazz piano player. And then I got out of music school and realized like that it's going to be a lot more fun to play a lot of different stuff. And kind of like when we started the Fish tribute band, it was kind of like full circle for me. It was like I was becoming the musician I wanted to be in high school, but I had to go on this like long path
that
through
journey.
So jazz, artsy music, and other stuff.
I have two questions about that. When you went through this jazz school tangent, well, based on your words, did you maintain your interest and love in Fish and jam bands? And then the second follow-up question or concurrent question is, did your peers, the other students, have a disdain or judgment of Fish? Because I've heard that a lot with classically trained people that go to like conservatories and music schools where Fish is kind of, specifically Fish for whatever reason, is looked down on. And I was curious if you experienced that as well.
Yeah, Fish is super polarizing in those environments, for sure. Like, there's definitely a lot of musicians who love Fish, and there's a lot of musicians who hate Fish. And there's very few, like, I don't know, quote-unquote, like, school-trained musicians who have, like, a neutral opinion of Fish. You know what I mean?
So, I think that's kind of a testament to how impactful and how powerful their music and who they are. I mean, right? Yeah. It's all strong. It's not just blasé.
I think there's just a thing that happens to you when you become that dedicated to like your instrument and a specific style of music. You can kind of become obsessed with perfectionism. And I think if you're the kind of person who like never wants to hear a wrong note in music, Like Fish isn't
Fish is not the band for you.
Like, you know. But to me, like, what I think those people are missing is that, like, when you go see Fish night after night, you're watching a band that's taking chances, and you're also just watching a band that's trying to keep a 400 song rep going at all times. And like some people just like aren't down with the fact that like there's going to be hits and misses. Whereas like for me, like that's what's great about them is that like sometimes it's like, you know, some nights it's like not Trey's night, you know?
Chad, you have a question? I'm curious your take on this because you're the only other piano player in the room right now. So
I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. Joel, okay,
pick one and then I'll cut you off if you go too long. But
okay. I want to start with the perfectionism thing because I've noticed. I think, well, maybe with a side of Fishman, I think Paige is the biggest perfectionist in the band. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's true. It's definitely either Paige or Fish, I would say.
And then my follow-up to that would be, does that make it a challenge to be the Paige in a Fish cover band?
Huh. Yeah, I mean, Paige is definitely like, yeah, he's not messing up the, like, written parts of the music very often, and he's not really, you don't really catch him, like, flubbing a lyric very often. But, I mean, I don't know, I guess I just like I guess I just like the challenge of it. But I also feel like in the Lizards, we have, like, we're playing the music of Fish, but we're more trying to encapsulate the spirit and experience of Fish than trying to, like, be each of those individual musical personalities, if that makes sense. Like,
so you give yourself a little runway. You give yourself a little bit like, here's the chord progression. If I don't play it exactly how Paige played it, I'm okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's certain, like, composed parts that, like, we're going to try to play them note for note, like sections of Fluffhead or sections of Gaiuti and stuff like that. But when it comes to the jamming, which is, like, you know, depending on how much we jam, could be, like, 60% of the show, I think that, like, we're trying to create the vibe that happens at a Fish show and even almost maybe give the experience of, like, what it would have been like to see Fish when they played smaller venues in the early 90s or something like that. And but I think the idea is that we're all bringing our own personalities as improvisers to those jamming sections. At least I definitely think about it that way. Like once we're in a jam, I'm not like trying to invoke Paige. I'm just being me, the musician, playing a Fish song, you know?
Cool, man. Go ahead, Will. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say I see that in the details too, beyond just the playing, which I really appreciate because I'm more of an aesthetic guy as well. Like that's and so like the lights and the setup and the posters is one thing that I notice is like even like you know some of the imaging and the periphery is also playing into details of playing into this recreating an experience. It's not just like a bar band of talented musicians that can play Fish. It's like you're really creating something, which I think is why you're fairly successful as far as cover bands go. I mean, there were two Fish cover bands that really continuously come out is the Lizards and Runaway Gin are like the two that like I always hear about, not just in the North or Northeast or in Canada, but like all over the country. People are aware of you guys. And I think it's that attention to detail and your talent, obviously, but anyway, go on, Chad.
No, you brought up a good point. If Runaway Gin and Lizards met in an alley in a bar fight, who would win?
Yeah, snap.
No,
I don't know, man. I mean, we haven't met them yet. We've met the Pink Talking Fish dudes, and we did a gig with them once, and
they're awesome.
They're great too. I mean, they're kind of doing a different thing than we're doing, so it's not. Doesn't I guess feel so much like a competition, but no, I'm sure if we met the Runaway Gin guys, it would be all love and just like swapping licks, and I'd love to meet their keys player and just be like, hey, like there's some like weird sections in Mound, you know, what are you doing there?
Their keys player, their original keys player just passed away last year, unfortunately.
Right, yeah.
But the girl they brought in the female keyboard player, and she's phenomenal. I forget her
Nice.
name off the top of my head, but I saw some videos of her. She's also really good. I want to. All right, this is probably a dumb question for the musically inclined, but I want to know what your favorite song to jam is versus your favorite Fish song to listen to, and is it the same song?
Interesting. It's funny. Like there's some songs in the Lizards that I feel like, for whatever reason, we've kind of latched on to having some of our best jams in them, even though, like, they're not necessarily like songs that Fish are known for jamming as much. Like, I feel like, for some reason, I feel like every time we play Waves, we have a really good jam.
Well, the
And
Waves
not that, like,
is one of the greatest jams Fish has ever done.
I mean, there's amazing Waves jams too. I guess what I'm saying is, like, when I'm at a Fish show and they play Waves, I'm not like,
right.
Oh yeah, here comes the Waves jam. Like,
that's a cool song, though. I mean, a cool answer to like be like a go-to jam vehicle for you guys.
Yeah, like in a way that I don't know if it is for Fish in the same way, even though there's obviously incredible versions of Waves too.
Yeah.
I always really like that one. I don't know. I feel like one of the hardest things to do, I feel like, for us, because we're often playing these like small indoor venues and like people are getting drunk and the energy is just different than an outdoor show. And it kind of feels like we have to like push this more like party energy in the smaller rooms sometimes. So I feel like we end up playing a lot of like high energy, louder jams. And I like the songs that kind of, it's naturally built in for us to get into maybe a bit more of a mellow, contemplative kind of place. So I love playing like a Waves jam or like Simple, the way like the Simple jam kind of like starts big and tapers as opposed to being like the classic like build and go crazy and melt your face.
Llama loves Simple. Wait.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, no, if you have a follow-up, please go ahead.
No, I actually wanted to throw it to Llama. Simple made me think of Llama because I know how much Llama loves Simple. Yeah. And I know Llama had some good questions. So I figured, why not segue and let Llama have a shot at this?
Good time.
All right.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Do you like sandwiches as much as Paige does?
As a band, we all love sandwiches. It's funny, like in quarantine up here, like we're not rehearsing as much as we normally would be, and obviously we're not playing. But me and the other guys in the Lizards have been getting together and going to different sandwich places in Toronto. Like, not even as like a joke because like it's funny because Paige likes sandwiches. We're just genuinely doing it to like hang out and try different sandwich spots. So it's kind of been like one of the main ways we've been socializing over the last year. So
I didn't expect that question to have legs, but well done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of good spots in Toronto.
You didn't have any other questions?
My other question would be if you could jam out any one song with the actual band Fish, what song would that be?
Interesting. Am I there in place of Paige, or is Paige there also and we're doing
Paige is there as well.
Interesting. I'd probably want to jam something newer just because I feel like I'd want to jam the things that they're excited about. Like I feel like
some off his new album. Some off his new album.
Yeah,
Page's album.
Some of the Page album would be fun. We'd just do some like ambient synth stuff. But I'm more thinking like I'd love to get like I'd love to get up there on like a whack tube or like a Ruby Waves or something.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Waves.
I say whack tube in my head every time I read that, but I've never heard somebody else say that out loud. I'm so excited about that. Hey Joel, we take breaks every once in a while on this show. It should be a quick one. You mind hanging out for a little bit?
Yeah,
get back to this right after. Awesome. See you on the other side.
In the book, Carini, chapter 5, verse 55, which reminds us, some live their day hidden from themselves. What Iculus is saying is, we in Vegas now, and you gotta roll the dice and take the risk on WookCoin. If you invest just 10%, of what you make each month in wook coin, it'll come back 30, 60, 100 times. The abundance will flow down on you from Iculus atop the mountain. Now I need everybody out there right now to get their checkbooks out and to start writing those checks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Friends, I was talking to Brother Elon the other day. He called me up and he said, Pastor, I need a new way. And I said, Elon, come with us, join the flock, be a lizard, and invest in wook coin. So right now I'm trying to get Elon to write that check for 1/10 of what he makes in a month. Now, wook coin is just like the other electronic currencies, except wook coin has our good name attached. It is a coin by wooks for wooks. Now, for every dollar, you get 1/10,000th of a coin. So let's get up $10,000, call your friends, call your neighbors, spread the good word, get the money together, you buy that first wook coin, boom. It's going up, you dump some more money in, you gotta keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. 10% a month, 10%, that's all. You drink 10% of your paycheck every month. You put that in wook coin. You know, there are things we need. We need to go on tour. I need an RV. I'm going to need tickets to all the shows. And we're going to need hotel rooms every night. And I'm not talking no Motel 6. Because we're wooks. We need the best. Oh, what the? Oh, what you fizzy? Oh, yeah.
There once was a man brought to this earth from his mama. Philosophy was to go through life with no drama. Until one day he saw a sign saying most words on earth should probably rhyme. And that is how we got lyrics with Ghost Llama.
There is a band from Vermont. Complex music they would flaunt. Spreading the word of Iculus with lyrics that were mostly ridiculous. Why are they playing in this restaurant?
Till one day he saw a sign saying most words on earth should probably rhyme. And that is how we got lyrics with Ghost Llama.
And we're back.
That was too beautiful. Too beautiful. So, can I ask you about original music? Do you guys play original tunes?
It's funny you should ask that. We've never really gone down that road. We've kind of always, it's like each of us have, like we're all professional musicians in Toronto, and the Lizards is one of our main things, but we do our own stuff. I have a instrumental kind of retro funky organ trio called JV's Boogaloo Squad that I write music for. But we actually during this pandemic time, we went into a studio about 3 months ago now, and we kind of just like let the tape roll for 2 straight days, and we just jammed, like not based on Fish songs, just kind of did improvs and jams and stuff.
Like Fish did before Story of the Ghost. That's the story.
Exactly.
They went in and played for hours and they said, we can make this into a song.
I have never been more jealous. That sounds incredible. Like not even just being able to listen to it, but the experience of just hanging out for 2 days and just jamming and
it was really
experimenting
nice.
Like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Especially because we hadn't been playing music. Like we'd been locked down. We hadn't really seen each other. It was just such a nice time to like, hang out. We're all good friends too, and just have beers and make music. And I've actually been I've been working on learning how to like mix and do production and stuff. So I'm just kind of sifting through the hours and hours of jams right now, looking for the little nuggets and editing it together and mixing it. And I'm hoping in like maybe another month or two, we'll have some original music out there.
That'd be great. We'll definitely follow up and let us know.
Love that.
I mean, from a selfish personal reason, I just want to hear it, but also I would love to help spread it out.
Yeah, man. We'll definitely let you know when that's done.
Along those lines, Joel, I was going to ask you. You brought up that you're a big jazz head earlier, and I was going to ask you, who is your favorite piano player, and why is it Thelonious Monk?
You know what's funny? Thelonious Monk is probably my favorite jazz composer. but he's not my favorite jazz piano player. That would be, I mean, if I had to narrow it down, it would probably go like Herbie Hancock, Bud Powell, and McCoy Tyner would probably be my top three. And then I'd want to like give an honorable mention to so many people like Brad Meldau and like, Wynton Kelly, Oscar Peterson.
Oscar kind of goes without saying, you know.
Yeah, especially. I mean, not a lot of Americans know that he's Canadian too.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
And not only like not just like born in Canada, like lived most of his life in Montreal, and yeah.
The one other follow up I had though, you said you were classically trained. So just as a little bit of a background, last night I was spending. I hung out at my sister's house for the night, and she's got a keyboard set up, and she was playing me something that was the last thing that she had learned from her piano teacher, and she remembered it. And then she remembered me playing Mozart's Rondo alla Turca, Turkish March.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, "Can you sit down and play it?" And I was able to sit down at the keyboard and I didn't nail it, but I still had it. Is there a classical song that you could sit down at the piano right now and you would be like, "I got
it"? Let me see.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
It's funny. I don't know. Like, there's this one like Bach piece that's usually in there, like. That one's usually there.
That one.
Just hanging out.
For Elsie, right?
There's
right next to no quarter. It's like Bach and no quarter hanging out right next to each other, having a beer.
That's actually the piece. The Beatles song "All You Need Is Love."
Yeah,
the song's kind of familiar. Out. There's like some weird stuff going on, and like someone yells, "She loves you, yeah, yeah," and then there's this trumpet playing this little classical thing. It's that.
Oh, no shit.
It's that Bach piece. There's a little Beatles trivia there for you.
Everyone likes ripping off Bach. What was that Procol Harum song that ripped off Bach? A Whiter Shade of Pale?
Totally. No, it's all just Bach. Like,
all Bach.
It's all Bach.
It really is, right? At this
Back
point.
to Bach.
I mean, so much of a lot of Trey's like early writing. There's definitely like some like Bach fugue-esque stuff like that sort of like 2-part invention in the middle of Fluffhead, or like, I mean, all things reconsidered is straight up and Trey's attempt at a Bach 4-part fugue. For sure.
What is the hardest Fish song you've ever learned to play? That's, I think, a big question.
It's funny. The answer is different for different instruments.
On piano, let's say.
On piano, it's All Things Reconsidered for sure, because you're playing you're playing both parts. I would say it's either All Things Reconsidered or actually on piano the Ass Festival part of
Fluffhead.
No, not Fluffhead. Why am I blanking on it?
Oh, I'm sorry, I fucked that up.
Wow, just having a complete like brain lapse.
That's right.
I can remember that the middle part is called the Ass Festival, but I can't remember the name of the song.
Have you ever said no? Have you ever said
yeah,
no?
Guela. The middle part of Guela is like it's like this really complicated like 2-handed thing that's like pretty nasty.
Is that probably why they don't play it much? They used to run that one in the ground back 93, 94. You caught that every other night.
Totally. And they used to play just that written part. It didn't used to be attached to the song. They used to play like a standalone Ass Festival.
Do you get into like the history a lot? I mean, I think all Fish fans do because we love stats and things, but musically, how these songs, develop and grow and evolve and change, is that something that you
I love
look at?
I love Fish's like progression and journey. I just find like so fascinating, like the way their music developed over time because like what's kind of cool about Fish is they've been together for so many years, and they started when they were so young that like they kind of learned how to play music as a band in front of our eyes. Like you know, when you listen to like that like really early and mid 80s stuff, like they kind of sound like good musicians, like, but they're not like, you like see where the holes are, and you can see like how the writing progresses and how like Trey is sort of like developing as a writer, and he sort of like starts really having his own voice later on, and earlier on the influences are more apparent. Like even though like I love like Junta and Lawn Boy, and I think his songs on those records are brilliant, like you can kind of like hear like, oh yeah, he's going for a Frank Zappa thing here, and he's going for like a Genesis thing
right
here.
It's more shallow. It's like it's right apparent at the surface, where it gets a little deeper as he gets in the like Billy Breathes, I think.
Yeah, I feel like around Billy Breathes, you really start to feel like Fish has found how to take their influences, and they've really got their own sound at that
and
point.
now it's Fish. Yeah.
No,
it's cool because I think when you have that level of understanding about music theory and playing, you have a lens to watch Fish and music at a different level than, you know, layman's, I guess. And not that that's better or worse, but it's interesting. I love hearing about that because you can kind of track that evolution more accurately than somebody like myself who does it. You know, I understand some theory, but it's kind of at a surface level, like, you know, at a very basic level, right? So I think that's really cool. What do you think about where Trey is now and the writing is now with like the last, say, 5 years with Cosvat Vox? I mean, that was different because it's themed, or Goes to the Forest and Sigma Oasis and Big Boat. Like, are you a fan of it, or has he gone?
I love the way Fish jams now, like as much as almost any era of Fish. The writing, like, there's kind of hits and misses for me now. Like, there's stuff that's come out in the last 5 years that I love, and there's some stuff that I'm like, it's getting a little dad rocky for me, or a little bit too, I don't know. Like, I will say though that what I really respect about Fish, and I think the reason why they're still one of my favorite bands, is that they've never allowed themselves to be a novelty act or to be like a legacy act. Like they come out every night as artists saying like, we're here tonight to be artists and to do our thing. And sometimes that means playing a song I wrote 30 years ago, and sometimes that means playing a song I wrote 2 weeks ago. And like,
yeah, and they're not exclusive on either, because you could have either extreme. You could have, oh, I'm going to ride the coattails of what I released in 92 and only do that. Or you could be like, I'm never going to pay fan service, which is also kind of a dick move if you think about it. Like, there's a reason you're there. So I like that they still will bust out, like, you know, Divided Sky and Yam and David Bowie and all that, although they don't play any of those like they used to, but they'll still do it, right? But then they'll blow you away with a jam on Everything's Right, and you're like, I hated this song 3 years ago, and now this is one of the best jams I've ever heard.
That's the thing, is I feel like when I'm at a show now, I'm like, I don't really want to hear Harry Hood as much as I want to hear Ruby Waves, because they're going to play an amazing jam on Ruby Waves. Whereas Harry Hood, there's like 20 versions of Harry Hood that I've listened to so many times, and like tonight's version might not really measure up anyway. So I don't know. Like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't love all of their music anymore, but I like that they are always pushing themselves to keep writing and staying fresh for themselves.
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to put it. I have a lot of
respect for that.
Lama, you seemed eager to jump in. Are you inspired by Joel? Do you have a question?
Yes. What song are you looking forward to playing the most when you can get back together? Yeah, live.
Well, it's funny. Like, we replaced our bass player probably like 2 years ago now, maybe 2.5 years. But there's so much music that like he's still not caught up to the full book of tunes that we had prior to him. because like it took us like 5 years to get to a certain point, and like he's been working his ass off learning tunes, but he's still got a lot to go. So the songs I'm still just excited to add songs to the repertoire that we haven't played in a while. Like since it's funny, our new bass player's name is Mike, which is kind of crazy, but like he still hasn't learned like Fuego, and I love playing Fuego. And
oh wow, I like Fuego. I like the drums in Fuego.
I think Fuego's a really fun song and a really cool jam vehicle.
Yeah, I could see that. It's not like, overly complicated. It sets up well for jams.
I also just love playing Yam, though. To be honest, like I get to take a nice organ solo in Yam.
Do you vocal jam? Do you guys vocal jam?
We do vocal jam, yeah, which is a really strange experience. Like
I bet.
It's really like at a certain point, like you have to avoid paying too close attention to the fact that you're doing something this stupid.
Have you been watching tonight? that is the motto of Wook+. The whole time we're playing bits, I'm like, just ignore the fact that we're doing something so stupid.
Yeah, like exactly. Like if I pay too much attention to what's going on, I'm going to be like, I'm going ba over and over again. Like this is not like like this, I just like if I like imagine myself as like a like someone like going to music school trying to be really serious about music, and if I told myself like, yeah, and 10 years into your career, like one of the more successful projects you're going to have going is going to be this, and then like could play myself a tape of a vocal jam.
This is what your life becomes.
Did you have anything you wanted to plug tonight while we're here?
Yeah, I actually have a few things. So, in terms of the Lizards, I already mentioned we're gonna put out some original improvised stuff. Our guitarist Rich does a live stream every Tuesday night. He just does fish tunes solo, and he does live looping and kind of jams with himself.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. But I've also started a really fun weekly show that Rich plays in as well. It's called 6 Feet from Stardom. It's a live stream on. So the guy who streams both of these, he has a YouTube page called No GNU is a Good GNU.
Oh, GNU. I thought it was new. I read it as the G is silent, but it's GNU.
I mean, yeah, it kind of is. To be honest, I'm never sure how to pronounce it either. But,
I was gonna say I wanted to do a YouTube Wook+ simulcast. I saw that. I was digging into that.
So Mondays at 7:30, what I do is I bring on a different guest who's like a professional musician in Toronto, and like we it's kind of similar to your show, except that we then play some music. Like I chat with them, I do a bit of an interview. I'm not ragging on you.
I was going to say it's similar to your show, but we're talented.
But we're good.
But we're good.
No, I didn't mean to rag on your format, bro.
That's cool.
It's just like TV, only different.
But so I do kind of like a short interview with them, and then we play some music. Often we do a mix of covers and some of their original stuff. So like I've had a really wide range of like kind of soul R&B singers, some stuff that's more jazz. Like this last week I had a singer, Mike Ferfolia, on, and we did all kind of like yacht rocky stuff, like Michael McDonald, Hall & Oates,
Well, make sure I'll follow up too. Send me those links and I'll tweet those out as well and share them through the channel and then the Plus accounts.
The other thing I just want to plug, because I think people who like Fish would like this, but I started a new pandemic project. It's a duo project with a drummer friend of mine who's based out of New York City. And we just put out a 4-song EP a week ago. The band is called Jester Champwick, and it's kind of like synthy, groove-based instrumental jazz stuff. And we just made
this blue.
What's that?
I was gonna ask.
It kind of is. I mean, it's just a duo. It's just a bunch of synths and keyboards, and then some drums, and we're kind of just like having some. I don't know how to describe it. It's like sort of proggy, but like it's actually all reimagined like 60s era jazz tunes.
Nice.
But then
dope.
like
I'll
kind of
definitely
made
check
into
that
these
out.
like modern groovy sort of synthy things, and it's pretty jammy, and I think people would like it. And it's
Yeah.
on like the Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff, and you can buy it on Bandcamp.
What's up, Chad? I'm so happy to have you back, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. You like my haircut?
I love your haircut, John Oliver.
Thank you. Somebody had to say something. Anyway, Joel, you're our guest. I have a question for you. Is that how do I put this? Do you ever feel self-conscious? Like, you seem like a very confident musician. You're like, me and this drummer from New York are putting this thing together, and we got this other thing, and with this. Like, what makes you feel self-conscious as a performer? Like singing or a keyboard, or do you ever feel like, oh, I'm not, like, do you ever feel, or are you just 100%?
I mean, I've definitely like taught myself how to fake being confident in these types of scenarios. I mean, I think I'm similar to a lot of musicians in that like I'm kind of wrestling with self-doubt and like inferiority stuff kind of all the time. Like, and it's just sort of a struggle that you learn to live with and that you learn to kind of have alongside you. Like starting this weekly show, like it definitely took me a lot of like, there's a lot of like negative, like, no one's going to watch this. You're not, why are you trying to do this kind of stuff? And I've just learned over the years that I like doing things too much and to not do them. And that voice is just going to be there. And it's about kind of like knowing that you can ignore it and just
how do you I'm asking this for a friend. How do you specifically ignore it? Like, are there techniques that you use to choose to ignore it?
I wouldn't say techniques. I would say that I just try to focus on the work. Like, and that I think is kind of what saves you. Is that like for me, like my mantra is kind of like, what can I do with this information and what can I control right now? Yeah. And so it's like, I can't control how successful the thing I make ends up being. I can't really control whether people like it or not, or whether it becomes popular. Like, all I can really control is how hard I work on it.
And how much you enjoy it. I think, if I may be so bold, I don't want to step on Joel's point, but I feel strongly about this. You can't go into any creative endeavor based on trying to be successful, people liking it, because people can sniff out sincerity like it's their sixth sense. Like, there's no faking that shit. So if you're doing something and enjoying it and passionate and it's sincere, then it'll be successful. But if you're doing it worried about if people are gonna like you, I'm not preaching to you, Chad. I'm just saying in general. Like, I got all fired up. I think about this all the time. It's like, people hate this shit, but I fucking love it, and that's the only reason we do it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, Joel, please.
I think you do it for, like, you kind of got to do it for you first. Like, obviously, like, the point of being a musician is to entertain other people. But you're right. Like, people are going to smell the insincerity. If I was just like trying to chase trends and do things I didn't really like myself or that I wasn't excited about, I think the inauthenticity of that is just going to come across anyways. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I guess my only advice is just like, if I had advice for someone who also deals with these issues like I do, it's that, like, just keep going, because you're gonna get better by doing stuff, not by not doing stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice for everybody watching out there.
Yeah,
like
all of you piano players,
all of you watching out there. No, because I think a lot of us are struggling with that now too, and I think that, like, we've had to invent these new ways to be creative and to be collaborative, and then there is always going to be that voice in the back of your head that goes, nah, this ain't it. Yeah. So I'm proud of you, man, for like just going for it and doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, imposter syndrome is real, and I think we all deal with it.
Right.
There's
make it till you make it.
There's a really great quote I heard once that was like, it was something, I think it was Ira Glass actually, and it was like, usually you get involved in the arts because you have good taste, but when you first get started, you're not going to be very good, but you're going to have good taste, which means you're going to know that the stuff you're making isn't very good.
Right.
Right.
Right, but other people don't necessarily know that, and if they dig it, right, and then
and it's like you have to get, you have to get over that hump, right? Like, which means you have to just keep making stuff till you get good enough for your own taste.
That's
awesome. My favorite quote about that is T.S. Eliot said, "Good poets imitate, great poets steal."
Right.
All right. Well, Chad, did you? I didn't want to cut you off if you had one more follow up, but we are getting.
I have one last question.
No, I have the last question, but
I have one second to last question.
Penultimate, as it were.
Penultimate.
Thank you for the vocabulary lesson there. Penultimate. Yes. Cool. The first time you played a B3 on stage, describe how that felt.
First time I played a real B3 on stage. I'm trying to think because I think the first time I ever played one was in studio, which was amazing. But there's something about being on a stage and having a Leslie like right next to you. It might have been there's this club in Toronto that has a real B3, or actually they don't. They have an A100, but it's the same thing. And yeah, it's amazing. I mean, for me, it's almost more about the Leslie than the organ. Like the first time you sit on an organ as a piano player, it's very imposing, and like the height of the keyboards is not where you expect it to be, and like I felt so out of my element. Like I felt like I was trying to like tame this beast that I couldn't control or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the feeling of having a Leslie near you and literally being able to like feel the air coming off it from the cone swirling, and then like the sound of it just like consuming the entire stage, because especially as keyboard players, we're not used to having like a sound source in the same way that other instruments are. Like a drum, you hit a drum and it's making sound right there in front of you. The guitar is coming out of the amp. The keyboard, a lot of the time, you're like going through the PA, or you're trying to hear yourself in a monitor or something. And like just that feeling of having this like old analog, like growly speaker next to you and like drowning out guitars for once is, yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
That was exactly the answer I was hoping for, and you completely passed my test, which wasn't a test at all.
Congratulations.
But thank you. That's exactly
I don't even have an ultimate question, because your answer to that was profound and I loved it, and I think that's a good place to close out on.
Wait, that was the penultimate. Come on, Wook, follow up.
No, what I was going with was all right, I'll do it. Why not? Do you ever jam with subpar, or not subpar, but not pro level musicians, and the next time I'm in Canada, would you be down to jam? Because I love jamming with people that are better than me, and I'm trying to make these connections.
Wook's an amazing drummer.
I'm not amazing. I am a mediocre at best drummer, but I was just trying to pull the, hey man, you want to hang out and jam sometime?
Well, man, if you ever came up to Toronto, I would love to meet up and hang out, and like, I'd love to play some music and then maybe go for some sandwiches.
Like my two favorite things. I too love sandwiches. I love sandwiches.
I know a lot of good spots in Toronto now, so
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, Joel. Well, it was really, really great talking to you. I told, I forget who I told, but I told somebody that I want to have you guys back on again in the future too. I love what you guys are doing. I'm really grateful for you to come on the show, and it was really awesome talking to you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, this was a blast. Totally unexpected. I didn't know I was doing this until like 2 hours ago, and
then you got all sorts of moon cabin stuff. Can I tell you a secret? We have one more moon cabin bit. It's not over. You thought it was over, but we got one more.
Hey, Joel, I'm going to find you on Twitter. It's so nice to talk to you. Let's be friends.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'm like super inactive on Twitter. I'm better on Instagram, but yeah, find me on the things. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
On the things.
All right. Thanks, Joel.
All right. Thanks, see you guys.
Oh, Mars cabin got real boring real quick. Want Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Once again, kick it off. I don't know if I remember how to play Tecmo Bowl. Man, but...
You just mash the buttons.
Okay. Tecmo Bowl on Mars is weird. Because
I know.
there's less gravity. Guys are flying all over the place. Where's my guy? All right.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man, I like these.
Did you have you heard any Fish news lately?
I know that he's still drumming.
Yeah, he's drumming.
What's the name of the band that he drums with?
Fish.
Yeah. That's the drummer.
Right.
What's the band's name?
Fish.
Yeah, that's the drummer.
Yes.
Right. So, what band does he drum for?
Fish.
I know that he drums for himself.
Well, I think we all just drum for ourselves. But...
Oh, was it Interception?
Was it?
I don't know. But I don't think we're on the same page, man.
Paige is the keyboard player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
Paige does play the keyboard.
Yeah.
Who does he play keyboards with?
Fish.
Right, I know he plays with Fish, but they're in a band.
Yeah.
What's the band?
Fish.
Nah, man, what's the name? Go. Oh!
I think I figured out you can slide and dive. Although I wasn't controlling that player, so. Yeah, so let's just move on. The guitar player is Trey.
Trey, okay, yes, exactly. Now,
Yes.
who does Trey play with?
Fish.
Right, that's the drummer, but what's the name of the band?
Fish.
I'm gonna try to focal here on the moon. Isn't it kind of messed up how the Earth moon doesn't have a name?
Yeah, it's just the moon.
Yeah, well, speaking of names, what was the name of the band that Fish drums with?
Fish. The name of the band is Fish.
No, it'd be Tom to name the band Fish.
Oh, I see what you're not understanding. What if you named a fish with a PH?
Oh.
That's where the confusion was. That's where the confusion was right there. Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. Back to Tecmo Bowl. Let's go.
All right.
Let's fucking go. What play did I call? I forgot.
All right.
Oh, that one. Almost the first down.
Amy Joy.